Welcome to That One Time with Adam Metwally, the podcast conversing the pillars of health, wealth, art, and wisdom for all you holistic hustlers out there. Today, I am with Andy Darling at the beautiful Music for a While studio. Andy, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good.
That's good. That's good. So you've said in the past, you don't have to be Beyoncé to make a living in music, which goes against what many people think. So what are the steps and frameworks to think about how to make a living in music without needing to become a superstar?
I had this breakthrough when I really understood that, wow, I actually do not need to be a superstar if I want to just make a living and make music. I think I was around 20 years old, and I went to this conference in Nashville, actually, called Music Biz, where there was this one speaker who was he wasn't really talking about, you know how a lot of speakers, they like to talk, they just talk in general. Mm-hmm. And that guy just went on stage and he was like, okay, so if you want to make money in music, here's what you do. This and that and that and that. And then I realized, wow, I thought that I have to be a superstar to make money because I did not understand how the music industry works, how the music business works. Mm-hmm. In my head, it was, you have a great voice, a great song, and then you become a superstar, or you don't, and that's it. Life is over. Bye-bye. Mm. That was my mindset.
Or you can become a superstar and still make no money. So.
Yes. That another thing. Yeah. But it's harder to be a superstar and not make money though. Cause even if, you don't have, you don't make money with
on the wrong team,
Yes, you can do that. But at the end of the day, if you still have a name, you can, you have a brand, you can still work it in some way, so I don't think you end up completely homeless unless there's some, obviously everyone's experience is different, but maybe if a person has all this stardom but cannot really handle the pressure, and then they end up, with drug addiction or with just some mental problems, then yeah, of course, that could happen. But in general, if you reach some level, you can, if you're if you're mentally okay.
If you're mentally sound.
If you're mentally sound, that's what I was trying to say. You can make it work, I think. But I've never been a superstar, so I don't know. Yes. Yes.
So back to the understanding of the music business.
Understanding of the music business. The first thing that I realized is that how artists make money. I was like, okay, wow. So I'm an artist. So how do I make money, right? I was like, okay, so I have a song and I release a song. And then every time people listen to it, stream it, buy it, whatever they do, I get paid. I'm like, okay, so I get paid because people listen to the physical, file. But how do songwriters make money? When it's not their song on the track, but they still make money, right? And then I realized, oh my God, there's master rights, there's publishing rights. I was like, wow, okay, so there are different angles, right? So if I sing and I write, I can either make money with my own music, or I can write for people who, don't want to write, or, want other people to write for them. So that's how I can make money. I was like, okay, cool. I can sing, I can write, I can make money with that. Obviously, I can perform, and then I can get some money, with performing gigs. And it could be either my original music, which is a little bit complicated, because you need the brand first. Mm-hmm. But I could, sing cover songs or play weddings. And that's another, revenue, whatever, source of income. And then from there, I was like, oh my God, there's just so much that I can actually do. Mm. And for that, I don't necessarily need to be an A-team superstar. I can just make it work if I have the skills, and I do have them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what are some good approaches for people to make a solid living in this industry as they're trying to build up their own profile, which takes a very long time, as we know?
Yeah, so it really depends on the skill set of a person. If people write, they can write for other people. And that's where I found my main source of income as of even right now. I just write for other people, and that, that makes me decent amount of money. Other people, I don't know if they're like great guitarists or musicians, they can do session works. They can, do gigs and play on the records for other people. And maybe some other people are, they're in music, but then they realize that they're great at developing artists and they can do like management. There's just so many things that you can actually do, but it really depends on a person and what skills they have. Are they like good socially? Are they like genius at playing instruments, or they're just so determined that and obsessed that they can really just focus on their artist thing and just somehow magically make it work.
What are some other streams of income that surprised you that you've noticed now?
Sources of income. Well, one thing that I know, it's not very surprising, but I haven't tested it out yet, but I think that's where a lot of money is in, that's selling like merch and any products that, make sense with your brand. And then there's just so much that you can do with it.
Yeah.
I just feel like when it comes to me, I really like to focus on the brand that people trust. And then once they trust your brand, you can, sell things to people. And hopefully the things that you sell are actually like not good, but like they're with good intentions and not just to solely make money. I don't really like that.
I could see your face on a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, thank you. I would love that. I should make that happen.
Yeah, make it happen.
Yeah, but I think streaming, and then there's just so many different sources of income for artists. For example, sync is great too.
Yeah, what's sync?
Sync is when your music is placed in movies or commercials or TV shows. Like it's like music in a picture in a way, And
how do you get access to that sort of work?
Yeah, okay, that is a great question, and that I can speak on my experience. So I've just been putting out so much music, and people somehow find it. They really like all the sync placements that I've had. They just came to me in a way, but not because I was just not doing anything and they just like magically appeared. No, It's because I've been working so hard on, putting out music, creating all this content, talking to so many people and, like hitting everybody up and be like, yo, do you need music? I got music, bro. You want it? I got it. That's how I do it. I'm just like, I just do it. I'm just hustling. Yeah, big time.
How important do you think being content first is for a musician now?
It's such a pain for artists. It's such a pain. I know so many artists struggle with that. I actually don't. I sound like a bitch right now, but I think that content is such an amazing tool for unsigned artists, independent artists, and that gives us so much opportunity. But at the same time, because it's so powerful, it can really kill the art in a way.
What do you mean?
Because even I had this mindset for like a couple of years where music didn't come first. It was content first. It was more, what is gonna bring me views? What should I, sing about so people relate in a content space, So I wasn't really thinking much about songs, So it was more like content first and then music, which now that I met my boyfriend and, he has such a big influence on me and he's always been like music and art first. And he kind of made me remember why I do what I do. And like being locked in a studio, not locked, that's a bad word, but like being in a studio for like weeks and just writing music for the sake of music, just because I want to make it. And it's not because, I'm writing for other amazing artists or to blow my artistry up. I'm just writing because that's what I love to do. That just felt so liberating and so good. Amazing.
Well, for some context, who are you dating so people understand why that is useful?
Yeah. Oh my God, Joshi. I'm dating the lead singer of Bad Flower. It's an amazing rock band. Josh Katz. I love him so much.
Cool. So for context, he's doing it as well. He's in the industry as well. So he's writing music and he has some good potential views on how to approach the art of it.
Yes. He's way ahead in the game than me. Yeah.
Different games though.
Yes, that is true. Like he is in the rock scene.
World.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
There's
Even though
4
it's
of
music.
them, right?
What?
There's 4 of them.
Yeah,
so
it's all amazing.
There's more people pushing it than just one.
Well, they have a whole team. They're just so ahead in their career as of right now. They have management, label, and everything right now. But when they were first starting out, it was pretty much just like me right now.
Yeah, definitely. So you've had quite an interesting life.
Thank you.
Born in Russia. Where's my notes?
I can help you.
You're born in Russia. You had a really interesting appreciation for music from a young age. Classical pianist.
Yes.
Choirs, contests, music that blew up. You became somewhat well known in Russian-speaking countries. Yes. And then you go, screw it. I'm going to leave. Move to Czech. Moved to America. You've been on The Voice in a couple of different countries.
Yeah.
You've done a lot. So I'd love to go back to the early days to understand you more as a human and what's driven you to where you are now.
Yeah. Yeah, as you were saying all that, I just had this song from Zootopia, like Shakira's song, Try Everything. I was like, I am that little bunny who was just like, try everything. Early years, oh my God. I was born with an obsessive thought that I'm going to be a huge singer. And that's what I'm going to do, yeah. I've never had any other inspiration in life. I've never had any other dream. I think I was born with it because that was the first thought that I consciously had. And that was that I'm going to be a singer. And I don't think I was that even good at singing when I was like 5, 6, whatever. I definitely was not like a genius child, not like Christina Aguilera, kind of thing. I was not, definitely. But I just had this strong feeling and I just kept singing and copying every artist I liked, and until I found something that I can call my sound in a way, But yeah, and then I had I've been playing piano since the age of 5. In Russia we have just a general school that you go to for 11 years in Russia, and then on the side you can go to a music school. So you do it. So you do both, and then I was doing, the general school and then the music school for 8 years since I was 5 till whatever, 8 plus 5. But actually, no, I think I spent 10 years in music school because I graduated when I was 15. Mm-hmm. Anyways, and then church choir for 10 years. And then I toured all over Europe with my church choir. And then I played in rock bands in Czech Republic and in Russia too. Then I spent 6 months in Korea. I just did so much.
Around.
No, I just did a lot. I just couldn't, because I had this dream, right? So I was born in this city that's called Rostov-na-Donu, and probably only Russian speakers know, what the city is. So I was born in a very just mid-class family, and with the aspiration to be a world superstar. And mind you, I'm in this random Russian city telling everybody that I'm going to be the next huge thing. And people are like, what are you even talking about? This just sounds dumb. You're not even in America. You're trying to be like, what, Britney Spears? That doesn't even make sense. Do you even speak English? And I'm like, whatever, I'll learn it. And yeah, it just didn't make sense. But I just kept working so hard. Sometimes I wonder why. I don't even know.
Why?
Where does it come from?
Where does it come from?
I don't know. That's a big question that I have. Where do our thoughts come from? I don't dictate my thoughts, they just come, just like with everybody. We just have thoughts. But where do they come from?
Source? God? Who knows?
Exactly. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched, I think his name is Sam Harris.
Yeah.
His determinism, whatever theory that everything is determined before, for us, whatever. So that's the concept I'm trying to grasp on. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know why I do what I do, but I just love it so much and I'm just having so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's half the battle, right? If you're enjoying it, then
yeah,
it's not a bad way to live.
No, that's the only way to live, I think.
Yeah. You mentioned that you were copying other artists until you found your sound. I want to dig into that a little bit more because I've heard that idea quite a lot.
Yeah.
Previously, especially in my own creative pursuits, I had this need to try and be original, and I ended up doing nothing because I didn't get good at anything.
Yeah.
So I came across this concept a while ago. So I'd love for you to elaborate on this idea and how to approach it effectively without completely biting things, but using it as inspiration.
So now that I've been on my journey of getting to know my subconscious and my psyche and psychology of, really me and any human, I've come to somewhat of a conclusion as of right now that when I'm born, right, I don't quite know who I am and what I am. I don't know what I like. And so I feel like for a long time, what people do and what I do is we project things. So we project things on other people. We see what we like and what we don't like in other people too. So I feel like in a way, that's the way to learn something about you when you're in the beginning of your journey as a human being or an artist is to project on other people and reflect through them. Mm-hmm. And so it's not that, so in order for me to find who I was, I needed to understand other people and I needed to be them in a way. Mm-hmm. I needed to copy what they were doing to understand if I like it, if I don't like it, if it is me or it's not me. So it's, in a way, I'm copying their strategy and their way, but I still am doing it my way. Mm-hmm. I don't even think it's possible to just perfectly copy somebody because we are only copying their result, but not their
process.
Journey. Even if we try to, copy their process, there's just so many things that come with that process, and it's so unique that you can't really copy anybody. That's why, and I think it's really crucial to do it in the beginning when you really don't know who you are and or what you're doing. But it's really important to reach a certain stage where you know who you are and you know what you're doing. Yeah.
How do you know when you're on the right track and you're beginning to find your own voice? What does that feel like?
I listen to my subconscious. Yeah. I listen to my first instinct in a way. So that's what I've been doing recently, actually. Has
it been helping?
A lot, yes. So it's whenever I have to decide something, instead of, I listen to the first instinct. How does it feel? Does it feel right? Does it not feel right? And sometimes I feel like I can get caught up with I think that I don't want to do it, but it's not that but it's in reality, I want to do it, but it feels uncomfortable. But uncomfortable is good. But what is the difference between when you don't want to do it just because it's uncomfortable, or you don't want to do it because it's not right for you?
Well, actually, what is that difference?
That's a great question. I just feel like to know, I have to be super honest with myself. I just have to blatantly ask, is it because you just are afraid? Is it because it doesn't feel comfortable that you don't want to do it? Be real. And then I just talk to myself. Or does it feel like it's not the right direction for you? What are your reasons? What are your intentions? What are you doing this for?
Yeah. So do you journal a lot?
Well, I've been doing these morning pages on and off for some time, but I journal my dreams.
Yeah.
So that's what I do a lot. So I think I wouldn't call it journaling, but I have like 10,000 notes on my phone. I write down all my thoughts and yeah. So I guess in a way I journal, but it's not like a systematic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very useful tool to really think through where your thoughts are coming from and pull the threads of why you're feeling the way you're feeling to try and get to some source of truth to make better decisions.
But I feel like, I think my way is to analyze my dreams.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. And that's why I've been really into Carl Jung. I don't know what to say in English. Carl Jung. Recently. And his words and his approaches, they really resonate with me.
Yeah.
And so just having that figure in my life as of right now, like just one source that I trust, is so crucial. Because before I had so many people, like one person would say that and I'll be like, oh my God, that makes sense. Yeah, I should do it. But then I'm like, come on, wake up. You don't have to do this. Like you don't. And then all these people with their opinions and their thoughts. And when people feel like you're like so open and you're like in search, they all want to fucking advise you on something. Like, oh, let me tell you what you're not doing right. Oh my God, you don't fucking know, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
You don't know, like nobody knows.
Yeah. So run me through what resonated with you with the Carl Jung work.
So what resonates with me a lot is he analyzes dreams a lot. So he puts a lot of emphasis on them. And then if I understand it correctly, he thought that dreams is a good way to speak to your subconscious.
Right.
So, and that resonates with me because I told you that before. I thought that everybody had the same relationship with dreams as me, where I have like a separate life and I'm aware when I'm dreaming and I just remember my dreams like pretty detailed.
Yeah.
And then I have like this whole conversation. Sometimes like I write songs in them.
Wow.
Not like things come to me, like I'm working in my dreams. And then I wake and I'm like, okay, that's a good line. Or sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, a banana peel. I'm like, okay, that was not good. That meant something else.
I hardly dream. It's crazy.
So you mean you don't remember your dreams?
I don't know.
So, yeah.
Do you view the world, can you close your eyes and just visualize pictures really easily?
Yeah.
Like clear pictures of things?
Well, you mean like... let's say I close my eyes right now and you tell me an object and I can visualize it, right?
Yeah, in details and colors and...
Say it and let me see. Say anything.
Banana.
Yeah.
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 So when I do that, I close my eyes and I just see a faint gray, black and white outline of the concept. Completely different. Yeah. Yeah.
So interesting. I heard about that. Some people do have that.
Yeah. So the result has been that when someone says, draw me something, I don't know how to draw it because I can't picture it in my mind's eye.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah. And I don't dream.
Have you ever Googled that? What is that?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
Oh my God, you should. That is so interesting.
Yeah. I think it's something that can be trained. I've had very vivid pictures in my brain when I say do MDMA or something. Mm-hmm. My colors are super vivid. I can see in amazing detail, but then the next day I wake up and it's gone. So I don't know what it is. It did begin to improve a little bit when I started writing down my dreams as well.
Yeah.
The process of just writing, trying to remember the dream in the moment and writing it down. And you know, when I asked you in the rapid fire, if you draw pictures, I would draw little pictures as well, shitty pictures, but it would force me to kind of try to visually represent it. And I was doing that for a while and I noticed I was dreaming a little bit more and I noticed I was able to get a little bit better on the visuals, but I haven't done it in a while. So it's probably worth redoing. So it's interesting that you talk about how you can tap in to your dreams in such detail And
Wow.
the next thing I was going to ask you was, what do you think the importance of tapping into the subconscious is to writing good music?
Well, first things first, I'm still, mind blown by the fact that you have such a different process, because everybody's head is so different.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
But I actually read about that. But like they said, some people, I think it was on Reddit or something, they were like, oh my God, I don't have imagination. They're like, I tried to imagine, I can't.
Just quickly though, I love doing this podcast. If it's positively impacted you in some way and you would like to support us, please subscribe. By subscribing, it allows us to build a much bigger base of listeners, which results in better guests, better production, and a better show overall. Alternatively, please take a look at the affiliate links of the products that I use and love in the comments below and consider purchasing using those links. They'll give you a discount and they'll also provide the podcast a small kickback. These are two very easy ways for you to support us as we continue to grow the podcast that we absolutely love doing. Thank you for your support. And now back to the episode. You mentioned that you have a sensor in you that likes to stop things, but then your music and your content is quite brash at times.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? Are you fighting against that in some way internally? Run me through what's happening there.
My content, I feel like the way I do content is I let my shadow self, if we are using Jung terms, right? Carl Jung terms, it's like the shadow self. The shadow self is something that we're trying to hide as people, like something that I don't like about me, right? I'm like, I hate that I'm that way. But I feel like I've spent so much time trying to hide something or try to suppress something that I just don't have the energy for that anymore. So I fully go into the shame complex. So whatever makes me feel ashamed, because shame was such a big part of my life. I always felt ashamed of everything. I was like, oh, I look weird, I sound weird. It's just, and I've been having like negative feedback on the internet since the age of 11. And so,
that's crazy. That'll do a lot to somebody developing.
Exactly. And because that was back in the day when, now there's a lot of that, right, online, but we've had internet for quite some time. But when it was happening to me, that was just like the beginning of the internet.
What were they saying?
Again, like that I'm weird, that my voice is weird, I have this vibrato. They're like, oh my gosh, she sounds like a sheep. Her teeth are too big. Her face is whatever. I don't know. So just like a lot of things. There was a lot of love too. Don't get me wrong. People were loving it too. But as a young individual, you're like, you see that one hate comment. And God forbid there's more than once. Yeah.
It definitely stings more than the nice ones. The nice ones, you're like, oh, that's nice. The hate, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yes. Yes. And so when I first had that, as an 11-year-old, I was like, something must be wrong with me, right? I'm like, oh my God, if people say that I sound weird, maybe I do sound weird. And so I had all this.
Did you sound weird?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I don't think that. So I'm at the point of my life where I don't really judge.
Yeah.
I don't think what is good or what is bad. Like some things are on pitch and some there are facts, right?
Well, is weird bad? It's like there's a connotation, but weird doesn't necessarily need to mean bad. Like there's a lot of weird things that happen in the world that people thought were not good that turned out to be great.
Yeah, but the thing is, like when people say weird, they usually mean that they don't quite understand it.
Well, that's half the thing. And that's less to do with you and more to do with them.
Absolutely. And I understand that now. But when I was 11 years old, I did not understand that. I thought that maybe I do suck at singing. Maybe my songs are stupid. And then, because I had my first video that went viral, fuck the V and W's. The Russian and the video went viral.
Yeah.
No, bitch, it's V, it's not W. Anyway, So when it, got viral, some people in real life started like trolling me, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible.
What do you mean?
Well, my classmates.
Ah, right.
They were like, oh my God, yeah, I saw you making this like, haha, song. It sounded so dumb.
Yeah.
And that hurts so much.
And what are those people doing now? Much?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes, I have no idea. But that really hurts. And now I'm like, whatever, bitch. Like, sometimes I'm on key, sometimes I'm not. I'm just expressing myself. And if you have a problem with me just fucking singing, that is your problem. I'm like, just don't be here. Like, you don't have to be here. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy you're here, even if you're hating, because that like really triggers my algorithms.
Yeah, it's great.
But going back to your question, so my relationship with my content is I'm just fully blown embracing my shame.
Okay.
So whatever makes me feel like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. This like, like I feel ashamed, I do it. I just fucking do it. Because I just want to, I don't want to even think about it.
So it's more for you. It's more an exercise for you to find your true self and true expression than for anything else or anybody else.
Yeah. I think about algorithms too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dumb. I play the game. But if I film something and I feel like, oh my God, it's, I feel any type of kind of shame, which I don't even think I feel it that much anymore because I've done so much stuff that is hard for me to.
You've done some wild content.
It's hard for me to imagine it now. I'm like, what can I do, But, the sky is the limit. But
just don't kill anybody.
No. That's my thing. So I just do everything as long as my intention is good, meaning I do not hurt anybody. I do not harm anybody intentionally.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
But if people get hurt by me expressing myself, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, that is not my responsibility. I'm just expressing me.
Yeah.
Just don't be here then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole macro issue with the world where everyone's a bit of a snowflake and people complain about every little thing and everything's offensive and everything is everybody else's problem that should be fixed by them, and there's no internal responsibility for your own decision making and your own reality, and it is toxic to the success of society as a whole.
Yeah, it's because people have it. Okay, let's be honest. The world that we live in right now is, in a way, more comfortable. It's like, I have a question, I ask Google. I want to have water, I go buy a drink. Like, in a way, we're living a comfort. And so when we don't have to, protect ourselves from freaking bears or from like some
USSR.
We're not gonna go there. We're not going there. Then we fixate on like other things, and I'm like, there are things happening in this world that are actually pretty scary.
Oh yeah.
That like actually factually pretty scary. And I'm not trying to undermine people, feeling the way they feel about certain things, but sometimes it can be like pretty exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a theory about this. They're simpler. People have to have an enemy and they have to complain about things. It's part of the human experience. So if there's not big problems in the world to complain about and stress about, we find things to worry about.
That is so true.
So the idea of a microaggression as an example, because people are much more passive now and there isn't that fear of some guy murdering you on the street and like stealing all of the kids, and it's not as happens in some places still, but
if we're talking about
generally in the Western world, it's relatively safe. So you have to find the next layer of things that might be aggressive or problematic, and then if you can't find that, you find the next layer, and then the next thing you get to is the idea that somebody looking at you is aggressive and
I agree. And I actually noticed that with me too, but like in different kind of the same concept, but different circumstances. It's, I think I was talking to my boyfriend about that. I was like having panic attacks.
Oh, right.
And well, I realized now that it was because I had this virus, whatever, like was really sick. But I remember like I had a song that was out and then I got, support from Spotify. That was amazing. And it was the first release that actually went great. Mm-hmm. And the first time in my life, because usually in my experience, when I release something, the first day is just nothing happens and you just build up to it and just, it's a snooze fest and it's a disappointment. But the first time in my life, like the last song that I put out, I was like, wow, Spotify supported me. I don't know why, super grateful. And then all the people were like super like supporting me. And I was like uncomfortable. Because I was so used to, the freaking negative thing. And I was like, oh my God. And then I had all these panic attacks and I was talking to my boyfriend. I was like, what is wrong with me? And Josh was like, oh, that's because everything is great in your life right now.
You're not used to it.
And I was like, yes, it's exactly what it was.
To create some drama.
But I hate drama. And then I genuinely do. And I'm super aware when I am creating it. And that's what Josh really appreciates about me, that I actually tend not to create any drama in our relationship. But when I become dramatic, I catch it right away. Like literally yesterday, we were like watching a movie on FaceTime because he's in Nashville right now and I'm in New York. And I just started telling him, oh my God, you're just like doing something. You're not giving me attention. And then 30 seconds later, I was like, ha ha ha, this is so funny. I'm creating a drama for no reason because I have a headache and I have my period. Wow, that's so funny. And then he's like, oh, thank you.
He didn't say anything in that whole time. You just came to your own conclusion.
And he loves that. He's like, I don't even have to say anything. You're like, you're aware. And I'm like, yeah. And so what I'm trying to say is that, I do that. And I think that, I put in so much work in my, in my whatever psychological health. I do therapy, EMDR, analyze my dreams, Carl Jung, psychology, whatever. I still do this dumb bullshit. And I think that's normal. I don't think it will ever, I will not ever stop.
Yeah.
But I think what makes a difference is when you do that, you're like aware of it. All of a sudden, like before it took me a freaking day to realize that, I was not doing something right, or like a week, and then it was a day, and then it was an hour. And now I'm at the point where I feel like when I'm doing something that is off, I can feel it pretty quickly. In the moment, Yes. In the moment, I'm like, I think I'm really fucking up right now. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's good. It's growth. It's growth.
I thought you were about to say it's gross.
No, it's growth. It's great.
No, and I was actually talking to my mom. Sorry, I just have so much to say about that.
Go.
Because my mom was like, she had some conflict thoughts in her head because she was like, I feel like this aggression. And she's like, and I feel really upset with myself that I still feel aggression and I still feel like I want to like fucking strangle your dad when he says that. And she felt so guilty for that. And I was like, Mom, we're supposed to feel that. There's nothing wrong with feeling that. The worst thing you can do is try to suppress those emotions or criticize yourself for feeling that way. I just hope you don't strangle my dad because I love my dad and I know you won't, but like you're a human being. Like emotions happen and that's okay. And that's like another revelation that I've had recently. There's nothing wrong with me feeling anything, but I need to be aware and like my choices and my actions, like I'm responsible for those.
Yeah, there's a framework that I like around this that I heard a while ago, which is you can't control your first thought, but you can control your second.
Yeah, I can argue with that.
I can't control any of them.
I don't think I can control any of my thoughts. I really don't think so. I think I can like guide them in the way, and I just can let them pass and talk to them and just, I feel like they're like a whole different entity, and I have to just respect them.
Yeah.
And just like embrace them and be like, okay, thought, I hear you. I feel it. You're great. But how about we think about something else? Yeah. And then if they agree, I'm like, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
But if they don't agree, I'm like, okay, what else can we do? We're going to do sit-ups right now. And that's why I exercise. I'm like, when everything is so bad, I'm like, I'm just running to the gym. I'm like, we're just going to run. It
silences the thoughts pretty quickly once you get into a sweat.
Yes.
I've been trying something. I tend to ruminate on...
What's a ruminate?
I tend to just think the same thought over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I know.
It's really wild. I get stuck in loops with songs for a day.
Wow, tell me.
The same line of a song just playing in my head.
What was the last one that you had?
I can't even remember. I don't process it formally, but it's there. And sometimes I'll be pissed off at something and I just think about the same thought process over and over again. But now I replace the thought with something else. I just, instead of saying the same unconscious thought that's annoying me, I'll just replace it with a conscious thought and keep looping that conscious thought for like 10, 20 minutes in my head until the other thought goes away, because you can only have so many thoughts in your head at one time.
Wow, so and you can do it for 10 minutes?
Yeah, you can force replace the thought with something else. This is a new skill that I've approached recently, actually from a podcast guest. He talked about this idea that you can only hold 5 or 6 things in your mind at one time.
Wow.
So once you realize that, you can actively replace things with other things and they just go away.
Wow, that's really cool. Because, when I was at Vipassana and I tried to freaking, replace things, I will only replace them for like, 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, la 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 la. But that's actually pretty cool. If you can do that and you're aware of that, that's really cool.
Well, the ruminations say goes away once you break the loop with something else. Once it's decharged a little bit, or you've replaced it with, like, for an example, something like everything's going to fall apart. This is crazy. I'm so stressed. You just replace it with, I'm abundant, everything's amazing. I'm abundant, everything's amazing. You just keep saying it. And eventually...
Until you believe it.
You don't even have to believe it. Just the sheer fact of getting that negative thought out of your head and just force replacing it with something more positive.
See, that's where I have a problem with. I don't like to force anything. Anything where I have to force things, I fucking hate that. No, for real. Like, I actually think that positive thoughts and thinking is overrated. And I like real things.
What's real? What's more real? You having that ruminating, that negative loop, or you creating a positive loop? There's no difference. Neither of them are real.
I guess when I say real, I mean how I actually feel inside. Like, what is it that actually is happening? So
but you can change that through exercise. You can change your state through active changes. So what is real? I'll go back to that point of what is real.
All of this is a good questions. I agree. It's hard to say what is real and what is not, because everything is ever changing every minute and every second, right?
And your inputs impact your outputs.
Yes.
So
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think that positive, it is beneficial to think positively. Mm-hmm. It's better to think positively than to think negatively. But I think that the worst thing is to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
This is where I draw a line. I'm like, I don't want to convince myself that I am not sad when I'm sad.
Yeah.
That is very important to me. Like, I don't want to, I hate fucking lies. That's what I hate. So if I feel a certain thing, that's what I'm feeling. I'm acknowledging it. I'm upset, right? Let's say I'm upset at the moment, whatever. And I'm not trying to run away from that feeling. I'm there, but I also don't want to drown in it for days or over dramatize it and make my personality of being a sad girl, you know?
Yeah.
That's also I don't think that's healthy. So I guess in a way, I do like that if you know you're in a loop, you're aware of that you're in a loop and you cannot do anything else and you can replace, you should do it. You should absolutely do it. I do think that it becomes a problem for me when people are they just don't want to face the reality anymore.
It's a very different thing. That's a very different thing that I'm saying. I think specifically for my case, I have so much focus on reality that it sometimes is overwhelming reality, and then it's challenging to actually just go, you know what, we'll figure it out. These thoughts don't actually serve a positive purpose. Like they don't help us get out of, us being the country of Adam.
No, I understand. I completely understand you, but you need to specify that for the context.
Yeah, getting out of this concerning situations, going back over this same thing over and over again doesn't serve a purpose after probably the first or second time. Acknowledging it exists and then approaching it in some way is going to be a much more useful long-term strategy.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I usually just EMDR things.
Well, I actually had a note about that and I did want to talk about it. So let's talk about EMDR because this has popped up in my head, popped up in my world a bunch of times now, and I haven't looked into it in any major detail, but I'd love to understand it. So
I'm not a therapist or like an EMDR practitioner. I'm a patient. No, I'm a patient. So I've been in EMDR therapy for I think 2 or 3 years. And when I say I'm in therapy right now, I mean I do it only when I really need to. And even then, my therapist, she doesn't even like to do it anymore with me because, there is a certain, you reach a certain level when you're like, you don't have to just reprogram your beliefs. You can actually work on your mindset and your psyche instead of just like reprogramming. But okay, going back to EMDR, what it is, the way I understand it, once again, a disclaimer, not a freaking doctor, just a patient. So it's a technique that was, I think, invented.
Carl Jung.
No, Carl Jung had nothing to do with it. I don't think so. I think it was, I don't know when it was invented exactly, but I think it was mostly used to treat people with PTSD. And usually PTSD, happens with, people who are military involved.
Dr. Francine Shapiro in 1987.
Yeah, okay, so way after Carl Jung died. Yeah. Does it say that it was invented for the, to treat PTSD, military stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to fact check because I'm not a trained specialist, whatever. So what it does, it's a technique that you can use to reprogram your neural pathways, like anything that you find not beneficial for you in your thinking, you can reprogram using that technique. And that technique is literally it can be moving your eyes very fast from left to right. It can be like
open or closed.
I do it open. I don't know if you.
So show me.
So let's say I believe that I am untalented, right? So that is a belief that I have. It doesn't have to be true or not. It just has to be true for me.
It has to have an emotional charge inside your body, maybe?
Yeah, it's just whatever I believe in, right?
Yeah. But how do you know if there is a belief there? Like, what's the physical components of that belief?
Well, first things first, like it came up to me, right? So it means that it popped up in my head. That means that there are thoughts about it. So like there could be like, some hints that, oh my God, maybe I think I'm untalented, right? And then I just feel like I don't share content where I sing or I don't sing that often, whatever. Like I see the patterns where I'm like avoiding this because secretly I think I am untalented or maybe I think I'm overweight, right? And it doesn't have to be, once again, I don't have to actually be overweight to think that I'm overweight. Mm-hmm. And so what EMDR does, like, it's kind of like anti-affirmations. So whatever I secretly think about me and I want to reprogram, I say while I'm moving my eyes left to right. So it would look like that, like I'm untalented, I'm untalented, I'm untalented, I'm untalented, or I'm overweight, I'm overweight, I'm overweight.
So you say the thing that you want to unlearn.
Yeah.
While doing that.
Yes.
I can't even do that.
Yes, that's yeah. No, you're doing it. You don't have to be super
slow.
fast. Wait, was I doing it fast?
You're like.
Okay. That's because I've been doing it for a long time.
You built your eye muscles.
Probably. You know, when we dream, actually, so there's like different cycles.
Rapid eye movement.
Yeah, REM. That's what happens. Like your eyes just move really fast.
I wonder if there's a correlation between EDMR and
absolutely.
rapid eye movement and
that's
having.
Yeah.
Having beliefs form during rapid eye movement.
Yeah. Okay. So if I understand correctly, when something happens to us, let's say we're just living life, right? And then there is a traumatic event. It doesn't have to be like big traumatic event. It could actually be a traumatic event, or it could be just something, you said something and it triggered me. And for whatever reason, I cannot process that. So during REM, rapid eye movement, we're processing everything that happened to us throughout the day, right? But if something, like if our psyche finds something traumatic, it doesn't really get processed during the REM. So in a way, the way I understand it, some events, some feelings, whatever that triggers us, stays on the surface of our subconscious. So it's like consciously, let's say, I don't even know why, but I hate blonde people. And I don't know why, like every time I see a blonde person, which is not a reality, I'm blonde, but I'm like, I get triggered, I want to hit them, right? But I can't remember why. But maybe when I was 2 years old, this blonde lady hit me. And ever since then, I hate blonde people, but I don't remember.
So you would just, to try and work through that, you would just say, I hate blonde people. And just keep.
Yeah. So it's whatever, it has to... It depends on like, your therapy session with a therapist.
So don't just go on YouTube. So I shouldn't go home and just start.
No, it's actually really dangerous to do EMDR yourself.
Really?
If you haven't done it with a professional, because we only remember so much, right? So some events I don't even recall, but they will pop up during the EMDR sessions. So some events can be so triggering and so bad that they can put you in the state of psychosis. And so if you just do that yourself, you can get caught in psychosis without knowing how to exit the psychosis.
Yeah, psychosis.
Psychosis, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Psychos in Russian.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
But anyways, so it's important to do it with a professional at first, for sure.
I definitely hear that and go, I'm going to still try it.
I mean, it's your responsibility. You can do it. I mean, it's up to you.
I've like become this cracked out homeless person. And man, I know that guy. What happened to him? He did EDMR by himself.
Which sounds like a drug, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? EMDR. Oh, wow. Is that like MDMA?
That's
no,
wild.
but anyways, it's amazing because you can literally reprogram anything you don't like or you don't want. So it's like a cheat code. And I've told so many people about it, including you, in August.
Did you tell me this?
Yes.
Oh, you did briefly. I didn't.
That was not briefly. I never talk about it briefly.
I didn't
always
click on
go
this.
deep.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that conversation now, but I didn't process it as a real serious. I remember that. I vividly remember it now, but I didn't process it as something that I understood. But I think it must have planted a seed, and then I heard it again. Yeah. And then I heard it again.
Yeah, you'll end up doing it, it sounds like.
I will, yeah, definitely will. I actually have paid for the $200 ChatGPT a month thing. I'm trying it out.
$200? What's that for?
It's just got way more things you can do with it.
Wow.
I'm trying it. It's expensive. I don't know how long I'll keep it for, but there's this thing called deep research that it does.
I have that too. I paid $20 a month for it, right?
There's like another level up that you can go.
Another?
Yeah, there's more. So I recently did deep research on EDMR, and I've got it sitting there to read EMDR.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I have that to read. So
well, if you want to do it yourself, I know some people do this thing. That's
tapping.
also, tapping. And
Yeah.
I think that's less invasive.
Okay.
So maybe you can do that. But I really recommend doing it with a professional.
I send it.
You what?
I just send it. We'll try it. I don't care and see what happens. I feel like I'm pretty strong and able to do
your
some
life,
pretty
your
hard
choice.
things.
Your life, your
Again,
choice.
you'll see me cracked out on the street in 3 months' time.
But it is a cheat code though.
Yeah, I'm super curious.
EMDR has changed my life. I used to do it like twice a week, and that is a very extensive therapy. It's like you move your eyes fast, then it's like tiring, and then it's like a lot of things. Yeah, it's like my therapy sessions are usually like at least an hour and a half.
And you're removing your eyes almost the whole time?
No, not at all. It's probably, if there's like, let's say 90 minutes, probably 45 minutes you'll be moving your eyes.
Wow.
And then you have to talk to your therapist. You need to define what is the actual cause, the actual root.
While you're moving your eyes?
It depends. It depends on your therapist. Yeah. Sometimes we just talk and then I move my eyes. But now can't remember the last time I did MDR with my therapist. It was like maybe, I can't remember, 8 months ago. But before it was like twice or 3 times a week. There was so much garbage in my head.
Yeah.
Fucking garbage.
Getting through it though, that's good.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself, as I fucking should be.
Yeah, that's good. I want to jump back into something you mentioned before we wrap up around the success of your one of those releases. I want to talk about the strategy that you undertook for that to be successful, whether it was just a lucky break or there was something different that you did that time that you weren't doing in other times that actually worked. And we can explore.
Fucking hate lucky breaks. I don't think they fucking exist. That's like another thing. My brother.
Well, okay, the strategy.
No,
what was the difference in the strategy?
Sorry, that was not an offense. Like, it was an attack on you at all. Not at all. I just find it like so funny. Like my brother recently, he was like, oh, congrats on that thing, my recent collaboration, whatever. And he was like, oh, so lucky, you got to work with them. So lucky they hit you up. And I was like, yeah, that is very lucky. But I also have been doing this for 20 years of my life.
Yeah,
it's like, it is true that
luck is preparation meeting opportunity, they say.
99% of the time. I still believe there's like 1% when things just happen, right? It can happen. But most of the times it's like, what is that, a lucky break? Or, no, it wasn't. But anyway, so once again, I don't think that was an attack on you at all. So my release. So what made it successful this time? I definitely think that the fact that I approached it differently, for sure.
So what was that approach?
So before, I would just release songs every month and I would not even do any real promo for them because my goal was to let myself release music, because before, like, I couldn't even release songs because there was so much expectation and so much like drama around, like, oh my God, I released a song and then it had 11 streams in the first 3 days. That's it. I'm done. And then also because, I have a background in Russia where I had a radio hits and all the streams and a deal with a label, whatever, because there was this ego attached to it. So I had to like go super down and end up at the very bottom to kind of like be like, wake the fuck up and just do your work. That's it. And so, and for the last 12 months, I would just release songs every month without even any preparations, just to build the habit of like doing it. And so this time I was like, okay, now I have this habit. Now I don't give a fuck. 11 streams, 1 million streams, who cares? I just want it out. So I was like, okay, this time, how about we gonna go strategic? And I picked a song, and that was a song that was such a big song for me at the time. I wrote it like 2 years ago, and it is about domestic violence. And it was such a, it's such a sensitive topic. And I just really wanted to be the voice for people who go through this horrible experience. And I felt like I had this mission. And so that made me feel like I can't just release the song and just not do anything for it. So I created content, I created mini series for it. I, talked about it online. And then at the time of the release, I also had a music manager, and I didn't have him before. And I just did so many extra steps that when I woke up on the day of the release, the things that I did not expect at all happened. So I would work on like one thing expecting, this to happen, but instead other things happened that were even better than, whatever I had in my head.
What happened?
Well, like, for example, like Spotify supporting me, and I don't really have any relationship with Spotify,
So how did that happen?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I woke up and then my song ended up on New Music Friday, and I was like, that's great. They just sent me an email like, oh, your song is there. I'm like, what? Huh. And then, to end up there, you just have to fill out a form on Spotify. So it's like just an official form, and any artist can do it. So it's not like, was some magic happened.
Did you fill out the form before?
Yeah, every time.
Okay, every time.
I would fill it out every time.
Okay.
And so I did not have any expectation that Spotify would ever really support me without having a label or like some connections there. So I just did it just because that's what we do. And then I was like, what happened? Really? What? That was incredible, because like to end up on a playlist like that, it's pretty miracle-like. And then the next day I had, I think Oscars were like in a couple days, and then, Anora ended up winning so many Oscars, and I had a couple of songs there, and that was like a pure luck too, how my songs ended up there. But also, was it really luck? Because I've been working my butt off. Like, I've been working.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it was a lot. Yeah, it was a different approach, but at the same time, it wasn't really, I did some extra steps, but it's not like I completely changed it all and I just did this one thing and there was this one magic pill that I took and then it all happened. Fucking doesn't exist.
It seems like it was stacking skills on top of one another, and the first focus was just getting the music out, and then the second focus was being a bit more thoughtful about what music you get out. Would you say that it's better to do less releases but then have much more strategy around it, or to do more releases with just a throw things on the wall and see what sticks approach?
I really don't think there is a universal answer to that. I really believe that it depends on an artist and how an artist feels at that particular moment. There are some amazing artists who are independent, and like Baby No Money, love that guy. And he releases songs. I don't know how many songs he has out. 70, 100, over 100.
Yeah.
It's like he writes and releases a lot. And there are some artists like Chapel Roan who, she released one song in 2024. And I understand they're like different artists because like one is independent and the other one is different. But what I'm trying to say is that it is different for everybody.
Yeah.
So for me at the time, it was way more important to release songs every month without any strategy, because any strategy would have just would have made me disappointed again, because I just had to go through an experience of having no streams and no success, no luck, nothing, just to really appreciate what's happening right now.
Just get back to the core of putting the music out for the music's sake.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just had to happen. Also, I feel like, when I had my success in Russia and it happened so fast and big numbers and big everything, that made me devalue every other success that I had after that, because it was really hard for me to top the first one because, it was just big and it happened. But now that I've had this experience of like having nobody fucking care about my music or me or just another person, whatever, to now when I get like my little breaks, I fucking cry. I cry so hard because it makes me so happy that these little things, they just are really happening. And it's just incredible. And I do not devalue anything. Like any views I get, like before I used to be like, oh, at least 1 million views or I don't give a fuck. I don't care about that anymore. Like, I just care that people, like DM me and they say, oh, I love your music. I just, even if there's like a freaking 10K views, I'm like, but that's 10,000 people who watched it. And I did something. It maybe has changed somebody's life, and numbers are great, but at the end of the day, it's the act. It's what I do. It's the art.
Yeah.
Have
you read The Creative Act by Rick Rubin?
I listened to his book. Was that The Creative Act? Yeah. I think so. Did he have a lot of books? I listened to one of them.
Yeah, he's amazing. He has a really good book on creativity that I recommend to a lot of people.
I definitely listened to it. He's very in tune with the subconscious and all that stuff, and I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah,
he really speaks about just channeling the art, and then your sole job is getting the art done and getting it out, and the moment it's out, it's no longer yours, and moving on.
Yes, yeah, I listened to that book. Yes, no, I agree with that 100%. Yes. And then, the other breakthrough that I had, like literally yesterday, blessed with the breakthroughs, thank God. I was talking to I was having a brunch with my friends, and I just had this epiphany where I realized that all my life I was waiting for a moment, right? For that breakthrough song or some breakthrough opportunity, which put me in I was constantly in a waiting room.
Yeah.
Waiting for something to happen, thinking that when that one thing happens, my life will change completely and there's going to be a different life, different blah, blah, blah. And I realized I was like that fish who is looking for the ocean, being in the ocean, thinking that one day I'll be in the ocean. Bitch, you're in the ocean now. And then I realized that, oh my God, this is happening right now. I'm getting all the opportunities right now. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And when whatever the next big opportunity happens to me, I'm supposed to maintain the beginner's mindset. And that is the most important thing, is when the incredible opportunities happen, I just have to keep going.
Yeah.
I just have to do exactly what I'm doing right now, being like fucking hungry and starving and just doing the thing. It's exactly what I want to be doing when I'm holding Grammys.
Yeah.
Just keep fucking going.
Yeah. So what's the beginner's mindset, just for those who don't understand?
The beginner's mindset is that humble perception of that humble mindset when you're just doing what you love and you get to do that and you have to really work for it. And it's like
just curious,
always curious, like never really saying no to, I just feel like I watched some artists or like some influencers that were really popping 2 years ago. And I could tell they were so hungry and they were just doing it. And they were just, making all these videos and just really working. And I look at them now and they're still working, but I don't feel the same energy. It feels like they feel, as they should, they feel pretty proud that they got to a point where they're at right now and they're doing shows and doing all of that, but there's no hunger anymore. And then I look at some other people, like some other artists who are like constantly hungry. Like let's say Mr. Beast, right? I know he's not an artist, but like he is a great example. The dude, like there's nobody else like Mr. Beast. Like nobody can even compete with him, but he has this beginner mindset, this hungry mindset where it's like, yes, I did this and I have this amount of views and blah, 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 but I can do it even better. And I can even top whatever I had before. And then you just keep going. And that energy is everything. And that is my goal in life, to always be that way, to not say no. Like I know some artists who are like, no, I'm better than that. And maybe they are better than that. But if you say no without even thinking first, you're allowed to say no. You're always allowed to say no. But there's some artists who just close the door thinking that I'm just better than that and that's it. And I'm like, no, like look at the opportunity first. The smallest opportunity can bring you the biggest success. And you cannot pass on people just because like they don't have the numbers, or opportunities because, you know, they don't have that and that and that. Like sometimes the treasure is in the smallest thing. So yeah, just have to be the beginner always, fucking always. And never think that you're the shit. Like I think that I'm the shit. At the same time, I don't think I'm the shit. You know?
It's a dichotomy. I love it.
Always.
Love it. So wrapping up on the music front, if you were to start again from zero today, what would you do to become successful in 2025?
I always feel like I'm at a zero. We just talked about that. You know what I mean?
So what would you do? Music industry?
Exactly what I'm doing.
Okay. Which is?
Fucking working. I write songs constantly. Like every day I write a song either for a client of mine or for myself. I constantly, I think I posted 467 trial reels in the last 30 days. I constantly am just posting. I constantly am thinking about the next content I want to do. I constantly think, okay, who can I reach out to, you know, and like make a song with, or like a video with. And then I don't even get upset about rejections anymore. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like if you're not going to do it with me, I'll find somebody else, you know? Like I just constantly am just doing things without even thinking about like my input is way more important for me than even the output. But I'm also like not delusional. Like I do realize that if I'm just keep doing the wrong thing, it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna bring me the result that I want. So I have to reflect, but it's just always fucking working and always just determination. That's it.
Cool. So wrapping up, I want to jump into some general philosophical thoughts and ideas.
I love those.
What's the kindest thing anyone's ever done for you?
Kindest thing. Oh, I feel like so many things. I can't even. There's like a kind thing happening a day at least.
What's the kindest?
Doesn't exist. They all are amazing. That doesn't like, I don't know. I feel like right now I want to say my boyfriend, because he's just such a big part of my life. The kindest thing that he does every day is that he really accepts me for who I am. And he doesn't try to change me. And he's just there, and he listens and he cares, and he is with me with no agenda. And he's not projecting any bullshit on me. He just sees me the way I am, and he loves it. He loves me. And so that just like, it's like an everyday freaking gift that I get, you know? That's the kindest thing, and that's the most amazing thing. And I do the same for him. Yeah. That makes me teary. I'm like, oh my God.
So how is that kindness impacting how you approach the world?
It makes me feel so confident.
Really?
So confident. I'm like, it doesn't matter what anybody says to me. I'm like, you can say whatever you want about me online or even to my face. I'm like, as long as I know that, you know, that I'm siding with me, and that my partner has like full faith and full trust, and like I have his full support, like, I don't even care about anything else. And that gives me so much confidence. I'm like, my person is there for me. My person supports me. What else do I need? It's my person and my family. That's it.
Yeah. And
so that's everything. And so I'm also aware, you know, like I get this beautiful thing, and it's like just like Benson Boone's song, you know, these beautiful things that I got. Please stay, for real. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm also aware that I have it now, and I hope that I will always have that. But I don't own any of that, you know?
Yeah.
It can just go away tomorrow, and that should be okay with that. And that's why I think the relationship works, because I'm aware that he doesn't owe me anything, and the way he treats me is just so beautiful, and that's really a gift that he chooses to give me. And I treasure it, knowing that any day it can just disappear, and that's okay too, you know? that makes it so valuable. But yeah, my partner and my parents, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I was just like, oh my God, that's so cute.
No, it's okay.
And also you invited me to this podcast. That is such a kind thing to do.
Of course. I've been wanting to for a while. It's just been a matter of when.
Thank you so much, for real. That's like another like kindness. That is amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. You have an interesting life and an interesting way of viewing the world. So it's good to chat about it.
Yeah.
What's, if you could know the absolute truth to one thing, what would it be?
What happens after death?
What do you think happens?
I really do not know. I think about it every fucking day.
Really?
Every day. Every single day. Every time I go to sleep, I don't know if I'm going to wake up. And I don't know how people are so fucking confident. They're like, yo, I'm going to go to sleep. And then they wake up and they're like, oh my God, another day. Bitch, another day. You know, it's like Eminem's like, another day, an opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's amazing. Every time I go to sleep, I'm like, this might be it.
Could be it.
It's been a great run.
Yeah.
So if only I knew what happens after death, but I don't know, I go back and forth. I feel like a comforting thought for me is that we're all a part of some source, some subconscious, whatever. It's just like some conscious thing that I choose to think that when I die, I just recycle. And I don't know if I go back to the source or
become a dog.
Become a dog. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that I become a dog though. I don't know. I think that the
squirrel.
No, they're cute, but no. I think that the closest thing for me is that when I die, this conscious dies, right? Consciousness, whatever. But then I continue as something or somebody, but I don't know what. Mm-hmm. But in my reality, there is a continuation. Mm-hmm. My boyfriend, Josh, doesn't believe in continuation. He just thinks you die, that's it. I don't know. Maybe that's a defense mechanism of my psyche that I don't believe in that, but I think there is a continuation, but I don't know what. I'm not religious, so I wish I was. I really, truly wish I was. I used to be. And it's so, I feel like that confidence that I have in my partner and in me, a lot of people find that confidence in God, that there's like, they have this faith and they just feel so excited and so confident and they feel like there's a God and the God is going to help them. And it's so beautiful. And I just don't relate. I just don't.
Maybe you'll come back to it at some point in your life.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yes. I also do not exclude that. Maybe I will. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, the relationship with God is something that has been developing for me over the last probably 12 months, 24 months.
Oh, how? Tell me.
Why I was very religious when I was younger.
Same.
Kind of forced into it with family.
Same.
And then I rejected it. And then I went on my little journey. Mm-hmm. And that journey has kind of made me gone full circle back to it, which is funny. So now I'm becoming more and more open to the idea, but I'm
of like believing in certain religion.
Yeah. I don't know which one yet. I'm going to read all of them and then I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes sense for you, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I really do.
Stand by. Stay tuned.
We'll tell you about God.
Yeah. This will become a religious podcast.
Hey.
I mean.
85% of the world is religious. That's
really?
what ChatGPT told me. Yeah, I asked. Yeah, I wanted to know how many people are religious, I'm like, how many people have it, believe in God and, are a part of a religion? Because that's a community. That's like a whole thing. I'm like, how many? And I thought like 50%, 50-50, right? I'm like, oh, I was wrong.
Very wrong. I think there's centers in the world now, very big cities tend to become a lot more secular.
Secular was that?
Secular, I think less religious.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even know if that means secular. I think it was the right word.
Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 85%. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. No. Not subject to or bound to religious rule. Yeah, I was right. Secular.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Your inner critic was like, make sure, Adam, make sure you don't look dumb.
Too stupid.
You're not stupid at all. Come on.
So wrapping up, what's one lesson you'd like for everyone to take away from this conversation?
Oh my God. One lesson? I don't feel qualified for giving any lessons at all. But I think what I would like people to remember after listening to this podcast, is that the most important thing is to accept yourself. Be yourself, accept yourself, love yourself like it's your fucking profession. It's a full-time job, baby, to love yourself. There is only one of you. Literally, you're born and then you die. That there's only you. That's it. No one else shares your experience with you. They co-share it, right? They're also on this planet, but really, in your mind, there's only you. You have to love yourself. You absolutely have to. Even if you feel like you hate yourself, that's something that I feel like is so important to work on. Mm-hmm. To find that like one thing that you actually like about yourself and like capitalize on that. Like, okay, I love how I do this. And then just do it. Gas yourself up. Because there's only one of you. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's beautiful.
Is there anything that you're excited about that you would like to let the listeners in on at the moment?
Exciting. I have a song coming out on April 21st, and I collaborated with Teamfight Tactics. It's an amazing game, and so the song is going to be out, and I'm super excited about that. It's a beautiful song, and I got to be a part of, the whole experience. It's amazing. So I'm super excited.
Great. Yeah. And where can people find you if they're interested in knowing more?
Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Andy Darling, ANDY Darling. And then music also on Spotify, like everywhere. Just, oh my God, I hate saying that, but you can just Google it.
Just Google it.
It sounds so bad, but yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And last question for you is, what do you think the meaning of life is?
Okay, this is last question. What's the point of it all, bitch? Thank you for this fucking... That could be literally a 2-hour conversation. That's not a closer. That's the fucking...
Just quickly.
The meaning of life, right? Or what was the question? Yeah. Meaning of life? Whatever the fuck you want it to be. That's your meaning.
Yeah.
That is the meaning.
There's no meaning.
Yeah, there's no and there's absolute is a meaning. No, it's just like it really depends. Like that's another breakthrough that I had recently. There's really no end game here. The end game, you're born and then you die. That's it. That's the only two things that happen, right? That's it. And so whatever you want to do in the meantime, just do it. And I hope that it's with good intentions. And I hope that, people don't want to intentionally hurt other people or do anything really wrongful towards other people. But other than that, that actually makes me feel really good. The fact that we all just die. So if you want to, create things like, Elon Musk does, or be a mother with 5 kids and just procreate, it can be anything. But I hope that you having fun doing it. So I hope that I feel like that is very important, to really just be in it, to love what you do, whatever it is what you do. Just fucking have fun. So important. So, and I'm just thinking about all these, all motivational stuff and overachievers and fucking wake up at 5 a.m. and have 17 businesses and don't forget to floss. Oh, bitch. No, come on. If you want to do it, do it. But also if you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the next Tarantino if you don't want to be. You don't have to. Don't feel this fucking pressure. Don't. Just don't hurt other human beings and you're good. That's it.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much. It was fun. I feel like I was zoned in. I can't remember who I am anymore. I'm like, I was really in it.
That's all right. That's the goal. And if you've made it this far, please go to YouTube, search That One Time with Adam Metwally, click subscribe, like the video, leave us a comment. Cool.